Hello students, how are you? After a long time, we meet in the form of online classes, that is video recording. Towards ninth class, there are 6 units. Every unit has 3 readings: A reading, B reading, and C reading. Every reading has a reading comprehension which is carrying 5 marks. Next. Here is the textbook. There are 6 units. In the first unit, the title is Humor. A reading is The Snake and the Mirror. B reading is The Duck and the Kangaroo. C reading is Little Bobby. The remaining units names and their particulars will be discussed when the time comes. Now, today we are going to learn the first unit. Now, the first unit consists of the snake and the mirror. Today we go through this lesson, the snake and the mirror. Here it is the face sheet. The title of the unit is Humor. Here is a photograph. There is a strongest animal. Where was it? It was near the well. The name of the strongest animal is lion. How was the lion? The lion was very angry. What did the lion do on looking at its own reflection? It felt very angry. It felt very angry. In this type, there is a story about a lion and a rabbit. In olden days, there was a forest. In that forest, a lion was killing other animals. So all the animals met the lion and they used to send a single animal for a day. The lion accepted. All the animals are going day by day from one family. One day a rabbit turns came. It went very late. Then the rabbit told the lion that he came late because there was another lion in the forest. Then the lion was very angry. Then the lion asked the rabbit to show the other lion. The rabbit intelligently took that lion to a well. The lion saw its reflection in the water. It thought it was another lion. So it was very ferocious and angry and wanted to kill the other animal. So it jumped into the well and died. So here we can know that physical disability is not useful. Knowledge is very important. The small animal rabbit with his knowledge killed the great physical ability lion with his intellectual power. So we can know that here the reflection of the animal become an important thing. So the reflection makes the animals to think it is another animal. Now, to the second question, have you ever heard or read a story of a pet or animal looking into the mirror? ఎవరు ఏదైనా అద్దంలో చూసుకునే జంతువుని మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా చూసారా? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. We can see sparrows in our houses. They went to the mirror and wanted to kill that its reflection in the mirror. It is common, we can see it very well. Now read the story in which a doctor describes a snake that looks into a mirror. That means there are 2 characters in this lesson. that is a doctor, particularly he is a homeopath doctor. And the second character is a snake. In the story, the snake looks into the mirror. Now we go through the lesson. Here is the title of the lesson, The Snake and the Mirror. Now I will read the first two paragraphs. Has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? మిత్రులారా, మీ శరీరం చుట్టూ ఏదైనా ఒక పాము చుట్టుకోవడం మీకు జరిగిందా? దట్టు ఏ ఫుల్ బ్లడెడ్ కోబ్రా, very strong cobra, a poisonous cobra has rounded your body? No, it is not possible. All of us fell very silent. Here, all refers to villagers. Here, we have to know that the doctor is telling to his villagers. All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath doctor. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with the tale. In this paragraph, we have to observe that there was a doctor. He is particularly in homeopathy medicines. He was living in a village and he was talking to the villagers. One day they were discussing about the snakes. Then the doctor asked them, has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? Then the villagers said nothing. So they fell silent. Next, second paragraph. It was hot summer. It is season, summer season, rainy season, winter season, all these are one part. It was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock. In examination they will question, what was the name of the season? Summer. How is the climate in summer? In summer the climate is very hot. When it was 10 o'clock, I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. Here I refers to homeopath doctor. Here homeopath doctor is saying something to the villagers. He says he had his meal. I had my meal is changed into he had his meal. That means he completed his meals at a restaurant. Why did he completed his meals in restaurant? Because he was unmarried. There were no persons to cook food to him. So he took a meal at a restaurant and returned to his room. Then he heard a noise from the above as he opened the door. Here I refers to homeopath doctor. Here I am using he. The sound was familiar one. That means common sound. When he opened the door, he heard a third noise. He thinks that it is a common one in that room. One could say that rats and the doctor shared the room. He took out his box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. Now we can go through this paragraph. The homeopath doctor went to restaurant for his meals and returned to his room. When he opened the room, he heard a sound. The sound was common to him because he was living with the rats in that room. That means the room was full of rats. He took out his box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. Here we have to understand that there was no electricity in that room. So he took out the matchbox and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. We can move to the photograph. Here is the homeopathy doctor. In front of him there was a mirror. And the room was fed up with rats. You can see rats here and there. Next, the house was not electrified. There was no electricity in that house. It was a small rented room. He had just set up a medical practice for earning. His earnings were meager. Here, the word meager is very, very important one. Meager means very small. Meager means very small. It is very, very important one towards synonyms. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase. Here, homeopathy doctor is telling about his position. He was living in a rented room. He set up, that means start. Set up means start a medical practice in the village. As it was village, his incomes were meager. Meager means very small. He had about 60 rupees in his suitcase. That means he had a suitcase. In that suitcase, 60 rupees were there. In examination, they will ask how much money did homeopathy doctor has in his suitcase. Then you have to write answer 60 rupees. Along with some shirts, dhotis, I have also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. Here we have to understand that the homeopathy doctor had a suitcase. In that suitcase he had some shirts and dhotis and 60 rupees. There was another one, a black coat also. He took off his clothes from his body while white shirt and not so white vest. Here the word vest. Vest means underwear or bunian, and hung them up. He opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It has a tiled roof with long supporting gables. Here, gables means అందంగా వేయబడినటువంటి frames అన్నమాట that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. The house was with a tiled roof. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from one side to another side. The rats were moving. He arranged his bed and pulled it close to the wall. He lay down, but he could not sleep. He tried to take rest. Lay down means taking rest, but he could not sleep. He got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. The god did not giving air. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book. He was in serious mood. He did not get sleep, so he sat in a chair and took a book. What was the name of book? It is very, very important. The Materia Medica. The Materia Medica. The book belongs to different medicines and different diseases. For which disease, which medicine to be given is written in that book. What is the name of the book? The Materia Medica. He opened the book. Here it refers to book. He opened the book at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror, and a small comb lay beside the mirror. Here he was giving about the description. He was sitting on the chair and was reading the book, the Materia Medica, and there were so many things on the table. What were they? The lamp, kerosene lamp, and a large mirror and a small comb beside the mirror. Now we move to another paragraph. One feels tempted to look into the mirror when it is near. It is common to ours also. అద్దం ముందుగా కనిపిస్తున్నట్టయితే కాసేపు దూకుందామని అనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ టెంప్టింగ్. టెంప్టింగ్ మీన్స్ ట్రై టు డూ సంథింగ్. వెన్ వీ సీ ద మిర్రర్ అండ్ కామ్, బీ సైలెంట్ కామ్. In spelling is COMB, but B is silent. You have to pronounce only comb. In the same way, bomb, BOMB, but you have to say bomb. I took a look in the mirror. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty and I believed in making myself look handsome. That means the homeopathy doctor was 25 or 26 years person. The people used to see him as a handsome person. And in addition to that, he was unmarried and was a doctor. He was a doctor in homeopathy. He felt that he had to make his presence felt. He wanted to be looked very handsome person. Handsome is used for male and beautiful is used for ladies. He picked up the comb and ran it through his hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. He took the comb and tried to adjust the parting. Parting సరి చేసుకోవాలని ప్రయత్నించాడు. So that it looked straight and neat. What to be straight and neat? The parting of the hair looked straight and neat. Again I heard the sound from the above. Again he heard the sound. What was the sound? The movements of the rats. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. He did not feel about the sound. It was common to him. So he simply looked into the mirror. I made an important decision. What is the important decision? I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. He wanted to lead his life as a handsome person, so he has to shave his beard daily and used to make a thin mustache. Mustache means meesam. Mustache means meesam. I was a bachelor. Bachelor means unmarried person. After all, I was a bachelor and also a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth-shaking decision. Here we have to underline that earth-shaking. Earth-shaking means very important decision. He took a very important decision. I would always keep an attractive smile on my face. ఎప్పుడు నవ్వుతూ ఉండాలనుకున్నాడు. To look more handsome. When we laugh, our face will be doubled and will be looked very handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor too on top of it. Being a bachelor, you had to be married. You had to attract another lady person. Again came that noise from the above. That means some rat fall on the ground. Then he did not bother about the sound. He got up and lit a BD. Lit. He lit a BD and paced up and down the room. Paced means walking up and down. The another lovely thought struck him. I would marry. I would marry. It is his strong desire. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money. He wanted to marry a rich lady doctor and good medical practice. She had to be fat, but there is a very serious part that is the lady doctor to be fat. For what? There is a reason. If I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. The doctor wants a rich woman doctor who has good practice, but surprising and humor in this part is the doctor should be very fat. For what reason he decided to marry a fat woman? Then he tells that if he made some silly mistake and needed to run away to escape from the punishment of the woman doctor, she should not be able to run after him and catch him. With such thoughts in his mind, he resumed his seat in the chair in front of the table. There were no more sounds from above. He was reading the book properly. Suddenly, there came a dull thud as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Then he heard a big sound, thud sound. Surely nothing to worry about. He feels again it was common. A rat may fallen on the ground. Even so, he thought he would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. This is very important part. No sooner, the usage of no sooner has given in the paragraph. No sooner had, and we have to write another part. Turned means V3. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on his shoulder. ఒకసారి అలా చూచాడో లేదో చైర్ మీదకి వచ్చిన పాము అతని భుజం మీద తిరిగి చుట్టుకుంటూ ఉన్న చేతిని చుట్టుకుంటుంది. The snake landing on me and my turning were simultaneous. When the snake rounded his hand, he moved to front side. It is immediate action. So we have to use as soon as in simultaneous positions actions we have to use as soon as. Next we go through the another diagram. Here it is the diagram. Here the doctor is running out of the room. The snake was before the mirror. What will be happen? We can discuss in the next paragraph. We can move to next paragraph. It is a very funny thing. I did not jump. I did not terrible. I did not cry out. There was no time to do any such thing. The doctor did not jump. He did not tremble. He did not cry. He did not make sound because he thought that if he moves, the snake would bite him. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. మోచే పై భాగం అంతా చుట్టేసింది. The hood was spread out. దాని తల భాగము hood means face part. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. The head of the snake was moving nearly his face above 3 or 4 inches from his face. It would not be correct to say merely, I sat there holding my breath. He cannot move. He cannot take a breath. I was turned to stone. He was like a stone. But my mind was very active. His body was motionless, but his mind is active. The door opened into the dark. He tried to see outside of the park. The door was open and there was darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. He was like a stone, but having a blood and flesh. I felt then a great presence of the Creator of the world and this universe. Then he thought about the dark. God was there. Suppose I said something and he did not like it. He wanted to pray the God to get some help from him to rescue from the snake. I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words, Oh God, save me from this poisonous snake. But he cannot move. He, he wrote his appeal to God in his mind. There was some pain in his left arm. It was as if a thick leaden rod. When the snake tied the hand, it became a thick leaden rod. No, a rod made of molten fire, lava కలిగినటువంటి ఎంత వేడిగా ఉంది. It was slow but powerfully crushing and pressing his arm. So he got some pain. The arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. What could I do? How can I can move? At my slightest movement, the snake would strike me. Strike me means strike, stroke, strike it. Bite, bit, bitten. You have to take the answer. Strike means bite. Death is moving 4 inches away. Suppose the snake struck, it refers to struck, it refers to snake. If the snake bite, what was the medicine I had to take? There was no medicine in his room. I was but a poor, foolish, stupid doctor. He thought, he blames himself. He cursed himself. I am a doctor. I do not put the medicine for snakes poisonous. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. Next. It seems as if God appreciated that. He thought that God heard his appeal request. Then the snake turned its head. It looked into the mirror and saw its reflection in the mirror. I do not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked into the mirror. దేవుడి తన ప్రార్థనను విన్నాడేమో, స్నేక్లో ఏదో ఆలోచన కలిగింపజేశాడు ఏమో. The snake moved to the mirror and watching its reflection. That is the first time the homeopathy doctor, a snake looking its position in the mirror. But it was certain means surely, but it was surely that the snake was looking into the mirror. I think it admiring its own beauty? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing vermilion spot on its forehead? He had so many thoughts. He was thinking about the snake. The snake is also a handsome person. Is it a male snake or a female snake? If it is a male snake, It is also thinking about making a mustache and making eyeshadow and mascara. Eyeshadow కంటి రెప్పల మీద రాసినటువంటి మస్కారా అని ఉంటుంది. Wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead. Here, mascara means a black ointment or paste. In Telugu, we may say katuka or mascara. Wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead. Next, we can move to another paragraph. We can move to another paragraph. I did not know anything for certain. What sex was the snake? Was it a male or a female? I will never know for the sake. For the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. Then slowly the snake moved from the hand and reached his lap. Lap means తొడ ప్రాంతంకి వచ్చింది. From there it crept on the table. From that place it moved to the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. The snake wanted to see its reflection in the mirror. I was no merry image cut in granite. Up to that time, he was like a stone, as a granite stone. Then he was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Then he got up from the chair and tried to escape from that. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there, I leaped into the yard and ran for all I was worth. When the snake moved to the mirror, he got up from the chair and tried to run away from that room. Oh, each of us heaved a sigh of relief. Up to this, the dialogues between the doctor and the villagers. Here, the villagers say, ha, enta jarigindi. That is the few, the word. Ascharya, amazing word it is. Each of villagers heaved a sigh of relief. All the lit BDs. Somebody asked, Doctor, is your wife very fat? One of the villagers asked, Doctor, do you marry fat woman or lean woman? The doctor said, God willed otherwise. My life companion, the life companion means wife. His wife is a thin, reedy person and the gift of a sprinter. Here the word sprinter. Sprinter means running race person. Sprinter means running race person. PT Usha is a sprinter. Someone else asked doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you? వాళ్ళలో ఒకడు అడిగాడు, నువ్వు పరిగెత్తినప్పుడు పాము వెంటబడాలి కదా అన్నాడు. The doctor replied, I ran till I reached a friend's house. నేను వెనక్కు చూడలేదు. ప్రారంభించగానే మా ఫ్రెండ్ ఇంటికి వెళ్ళడానికి ప్రయత్నించాను. వెనక్కే చూడలేదు. Immediately I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. మా ఫ్రెండ్ ఇంటికి వెళ్ళంగానే పాము చుట్టింది కదా, అందువల్ల బాగా నూనె పట్టించి తలస్నానము చేశాడు. I changed into fresh clothes. Here you have to note that CLOTH is cloth. When it is added to ES, then we have to say clothes, దుస్తులు. విడిగా బట్ట అయితేనేమో క్లాత్ అనాలి, డ్రెస్కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి క్లోత్స్ అని అనాలి. ఇట్ ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ద నెక్స్ట్ మార్నింగ్ at about 8:30 I took my friend and one and two others to my room to move my things from the room. But we found we had little to carry. In the morning, his friend and the homeopath doctor went to the room. There, they did not find anything valuable because some thief had removed most of his things. The room had been cleaned out, but not really. The thief had left behind one thing. పొద్దునే ఫ్రెండ్తో వెళ్ళగానే ఆ ఇంట్లో ఏమీ లేవు, మొత్తం ఎవరో దొంగలించేశాడు. హ్యాడ్ రిమూవ్డ్ మీన్స్ హియర్ ద వర్డ్ స్టోలెన్. హ్యాడ్ స్టోలెన్ తొలగించుట అని అర్థం వచ్చింది, ఇక్కడ స్టోలెన్ అని అర్థం తీసుకోవాలి. ద థీఫ్ హ్యాడ్ లెఫ్ట్ బిహైండ్ వన్ థింగ్ యాజ్ ఎ ఫైనల్ insult. The thief had taken all the things, but he leave a small one. It was a insulted one. It is his vest. What was that? The villager asked. The doctor said, "My vest, the dirty one, dirty and clean." Opposite. Vest means underwear. The thief did not take the dirty vest because it is full of smell and looking badly. The fellow had such a sense of cleanness. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. హాయిగా తీసుకువెళ్ళి దాన్ని సోప్లో ఉతికి వేసుకోవచ్చు కదా, కానీ వాడికి క్లీన్నెస్ మీద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఎక్కువ ఉందేమో. దొంగలకు కూడా క్లీన్నెస్ మీద అంత ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంది. డిడ్ యూ సీ ద స్నేక్ ద నెక్స్ట్ డే డాక్టర్? ద విలేజర్ ఆస్క్డ్. ద డాక్టర్ లాఫ్డ్. ఐ హ్యావ్ నెవర్ సీన్ ఇట్ సిన్స్. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty. Herewith the lesson is completed. The lesson is about the homeopath doctor and the snake. It is a funny story, humorous story. This lesson is written by Vaikom Muhammad Bashir. He was born on 21st January 1908 and he died on 5th July 1994. He was a Malayalam fiction writer from the state of Kerala. That means the writer belongs to Kerala state. He was a humanist, freedom fighter, novelist, a short story writer. He is noted for his down-to-earth style of writing that made him equally popular among literary critics as well as the common man. చాలా సాధారణ వ్యక్తులకు అర్థమయ్యేట్టుగాను బాగా ఇంగ్లీష్ భాషలో నిపుణత కలిగినటువంటి వాళ్ళు చదువుకోవడానికి రెండు వైపులా పదులు కలిగినటువంటి రచనలు చేసినటువంటి వ్యక్తి. హీ ఈజ్ రిగార్డెడ్ యాజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద మోస్ట్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ and outstanding writers from India. Translation of his works into other languages have won him worldwide acclaim. Acclaim means praise, applause. The story, The Snake and the Mirror was translated into English. His notable works include Balya Kalakshi, Shabdangal, Mati Lukal and Anagara Rishimam. He was awarded Padma Shri in 1982. He was fondly remembered as the Bepur Sultan. This is about the author. His name is Vaiko Mohad Bashir. Next, glossary. Full-blooded means strong. Meager means small in quantity. My income is meager means my income is very small. Solitary means single. Vest A garment worn under a shirt, a piece of underwear is called vest. Gable, upper part of the wall below a sloping roof. Parting, a line of person's head where the hair is divided with a comb. Papidi antam. Pace. Pace means walking up and down many times is called pace. Thud, a dull sound made when a heavy object falls. Rubber లాంటిది పడితే వచ్చే సౌండ్ thud అంటారు. Wriggled, moved by twisting and turning. Slithered, it is also moving. Moved as closer quarters from short distance away. That means very near. Hood, the expanded part of a snake head is called head. Molten, heated to a very high temperature. Example, lava. Lurked means be about lie in weight. Mascara, katuka. Vermilion, bright red in color. I was no image cut in granite. The doctor no longer stood there like a statue. A man of flesh and blood. That means from stone he became to a normal man. The doctor became normal. Reedy means unpleasant or not pleasant. Sprinter, it is very very important. A fast runner. We have to remember PT Usha. Taken with means attracted by. With this, we conclude the lesson. In the next video, we can continue the remaining grammar part and questions and comprehensions. Okay, please note all the important words in this lesson and glossary. Okay, thank you.